and gentlemen, without any further ado, please join me in welcoming with a warm round of applause our international guest speaker, Zoltan Varnai, Ambassador Triple Diamond Executive.
Thank you so much. What a MC, what an introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not nervous when in front of my group. We had a meeting with 700 people in September, but here everybody's stranger except Trish and Ellen and a few more. So I'm more nervous if I can give you any value today. I hope it's a little bit of information will make sense to you, and you can use maybe one sentence or one idea or one tip from my presentation. Maybe it was worth to come and speak to you. If you will have anything in your mind, please talk to your upline first, because sometimes I'm crazy, I'm doing crazy things which doesn't make sense, maybe to you, but if you talk to your upline, and then during my presentation you hear something that you think it's value but doesn't make sense to you, after you talk to your upline, you can reach out to me. I give you 1 week. I will serve you for 1 week. You can find me on Instagram, and if you have any question or any thoughts, please contact me, so I will help you to clear things up. I hope it will be value for you. So my name is Zoltan. Thank you so much for the great introduction. And then I will share with you for the next few minutes my story. And it might hopefully a little bit of inspiration to you that I was not born successful, so I had a journey like everybody else. I give you some business building techniques and tips what we do in our team. I once again talk to your upline, because the power of unity, the success what you create is only successful if you do as a team together. So please look for your upline. And then I will share with you some ideas about dreaming, having the right mindset, and having the self-image. What I know people are not 100% yet, when we do a lot of work and the results is not coming maybe instantly. So I give you some ideas about this. So this is my topics here. I was born in Hungary in 1972, so I am very, very super young. And then in the middle you see that I was working big part of my life, a lot of memories, that I used to work on the cruise ship as a waiter. I left Hungary in 1999, so since then I'm practicing English, and I still didn't get there. And then because I left Hungary a long time ago, I forgot a lot of Hungarian, so I'm between the two chairs. I don't speak English yet, and I don't speak Hungarian already. So that's the short story of my travelings. I've been traveling in 90 countries, 90, because of the journey that I did. I was working the cruise ship, and then now we moved the family with my 2 children, Zoe and Zoltan, and my beautiful wife, Toinette, with the Swiss Alps. So I was thinking how I can inspire you, and for those people who has challenges when you start your journey and things is not working the right way you hoped. So I want to share a couple of things. And this is the first picture in 1993 in Hungary when I started my first network marketing experience. I survived only 3 years. 3 years later, I give up. And actually, the person who introduced to me network marketing, Pirici Janci, is my diamond. He's just sitting right here next to Ellen and Trish. So Janci was the first person who introduced me network marketing. And then I started, this is one of the largest network marketing company. I started my journey, and my mother wanted to help me. So my mother called my cousin, and she was a solicitor, so she had a great income, and asked my cousin to welcome me and buy some products for me. So that time was not mobile phone, so I had my cosmetic bag. I was 27 years old. I had my cosmetic bags, and I traveled by train 1.5 hours to visiting my cousin, because the appointment was made by my mother that she's going to have a look at the cosmetic products, and maybe if she likes something, maybe she will purchase something. So I went there, and then I ring the bell, and then nobody opened the door. And I knocked the windows, and nobody opened it. I went in the back, the other window, I knocked the window, and I saw the shadows. People were running in and out. So I was so happy they will open the door. And I was waiting, and I was waiting, and I was waiting. And 10 minutes later, I felt a huge humiliation. I took my little bag, I turned around, and I walked home, went to the train station, traveled home again. So that was the first experience when I knew never, ever, 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 never, ever, I will try this business again. So my mother called my cousin, and it was a big fight between the family, and we didn't speak each other for a few months, but that was the first journey when I started. And after 3 years, I gave up, and I thought it's genius, it's brilliant. I was so excited to learn network marketing. First time in my life, I started a book, and I finished the book until the end. I never did this before. Many times I was in my room, I was reading books, and my mother came to my room and asked me, "Is everything okay?" I said, "Why? You are not sick, why?" Because she saw me, I'm reading books. So I was really grateful for the first experience in network marketing, but I gave up after 3 years. That doesn't work for me. So I had a long break away from network marketing, and I went to the cruise ship as I was working as a waiter. In 2009, the picture in the middle, you see that shopping mall in Dublin, in Ireland. Then the shopping mall, I had a job. In the meantime, I finished hotel and tourism management, and I was a restaurant manager in that restaurant. And 2008, what happened is the owner of the restaurant called me, and then he told me that he doesn't need me anymore. So I was fired. And it was a big tragedy because I had great education. I spent a lot of time, a lot of money on my education. You know, Swiss hotel and tourism management is not a cheap education. So I spent a lot of money, I invested a lot of money, and then I found out that doesn't matter how good experience I have, doesn't matter how good education I have, I was without jobs in the middle of the recession, 2008. So I learned a lesson, I have to be my own boss. And then nobody can fire me, so I can control my own future. That's the lesson what I learned in 2008. So I started network marketing the second time. And then I was in a business for 11 years, and what happened roughly a few months later, and that's the third picture, you see 2008 Dublin. And what happened is that my very next neighbor, he was a postman. So you see the picture number 1 door, it was our apartment, what we're renting with a friend. And the door number 2 on the picture was my neighbor, very next neighbor, who was a postman. And I sold him a water purifier, very expensive, 800 euro. And then he said, yes, I want to buy it. So I ordered from the company, and then I was delivering the water purifier to him when the products arrived. So I'm going to collect the money from him and deliver the products and show how it works. I ring the bell, the door didn't open. I knocked the door didn't open. And then I knocked the window, the same story. I saw people, the shadow behind the curtain, they are moving. And then the door didn't open. And then I had all the memories back when I started, exactly the same story happened. But I was a little bit older than the first time in 1993, so I felt 10 times more humiliation. I went back to my room and I closed the room, and an age of, can you calculate somebody, how old I was, 30 something. As a grown-up man, alone in my room, I start tearing because of the huge, huge disappointment, the huge humiliation. And I start telling myself, never, ever, never again network marketing. And I start thinking and I start talk to myself, if I'm not going to continue this journey, then what else I'm going to do? So I start thinking all my options, that I will go back to the restaurant as a restaurant manager, or I will go back to the restaurant as a waiter. I'm not going to see my families. I'm going to work weekends and evenings and Christmas. And then I will make a certain limitation of my income. And that freedom, what was driving me to come to the business, it will not be possible. So that's thinking, that's self-talk, when I talk to myself, that the freedom I want, the quality life I want, the quality of the income, and all the lifestyle what I want is not possible from a normal, ordinary job. That made me to stand up as a crying man and disappointment that I have no other chance. So that was my biggest luck, that I realized that I have no other chance. The lifestyle I want, just only the network marketing. That was the story. So if you really, you know your real reason, you know your why, it can save your life. And then my why is actually saved my life. That's why I continue this journey. So I want to share some business building techniques with you. And then what I really will want to emphasize is, oh, sorry. Go back. So what I want to really emphasize here, what I'm going to share with you, is doing, teaching, and repeating simple steps all over again. I don't know my slide, why is like this? When I was created, it was okay, but now it doesn't look good. But the key word is simplicity, and I like Trish's presentation, and I was listening to Trish a couple of times, and it's not a coincidence, Trish, #1 income earner and most successful in the ASEA business globally, that the biggest thing what I learned from Trish is the simplicity. She's so super simple, and every training she's doing, I always learn the same thing. She's super simple. There's no complication in that. And I want to share with you the 10 points of success and a couple of ideas and a couple of tips, what we do and why we do things. First thing what is I think it's so difficult, and that's why I put a red star, because it's not easy. It's not easy. The first thing is to find an urgent and emotional dream, find an urgent and emotional why. And it has to be both. It has to be urgent. You have to find a reason why you are not keep postponing to achieve your goal. Let me give you an example. I ask business partners, what's your goal? What is emergent and what is emotional in your dream? And I have a person, she said that her daughter finishing the secondary school, and then the dream is to go to the university, and then she's finishing the school in 2 years' time. So in 2 years' time, she has to have enough income to support her to go to university. So that was really urgent because she has only 2 years left. And it was so emotional because her children told her that's her biggest dream, to go that typical university. So that's a good example for that. The second one is the mindset and the winning self-image. And this is typically true, and this is also I mark with the red star. That is not easy, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of practice and patience to get this right. The mindset of the positivity, the mindset of the winning, and the mindset of the entrepreneur mindset, that we are entrepreneurs, and all the challenges and all the difficulties, what is facing us, if we solve the problems, this is called entrepreneurism. And I think Elon Musk said that bigger the problems you will solve, bigger the income you will create. And then I was thinking a lot, which is so true and so right. And with the self-image is you have to see yourself that you already won this game. You are already successful. You have to see yourself, you are already achieved that rank what you are dreaming. But I will give you one tips and one ideas. And then writing name list and growing your name list regularly. I mark it with the green. It's super, super easy. You just have to write down the names. You search in your phone, your contacts on Facebook, on social media, and then you continuously go and you speak to people and you find new people. I was in Bali in the last few days, and I met people in the resorts, and I talked to them. And I asked them question, how they are. I know I met Nata, I met Mr. Art, and I was showing curiosity. Sincerely, I was interested towards them. And I asked them a lot of questions about them. And naturally, what happens, they always ask me back. And when they ask me back, that's the moment when I share the story. The very, very short version of the story, or what I do is, I make them hungry. They want to know more about me. So I prepare the relationship, and I prepare before I give a presentation. I have one great example, the place where we moved in Switzerland. It was a guy, he was a driver for a multi-millionaire family who was living there. And I met the driver always in the garage. When I met him, I always stopped the car. I pulled down the window, and I always asked some questions, and I always talked to him a few times. I collected a lot of information, but I invited him to learn about the business opportunity, like after 2 months. 2 months was only preparation, because I knew I'm going to meet him again. So every time he asked me, Zoltan, when are you going to share what you really do? I said, time is coming, it's not right time yet. For 2 months, I was playing this game. When I told him, come to my apartment, I show you, he came with a big flower. He came with a bottle of champagne and the chocolate to appreciate that I'm going to finally share what I have with him. So this is preparation. And number 4, which I explained already, it's very super easy. It's green again. Show sincere interest to other people and invite them if they have a pain point. So usually what I do is I keep asking people about them. What I'm looking for is pain, is struggle, is problem, what they have in their life. And I know that ASEA, the products or the opportunity, might be a solution for their problem. My rule is, if it's no pain, there is no business. Number 5, I give the presentation with the condition. And what is the condition means? For example, I never give the presentation if I don't do live presentation. If I give the link of my presentation, I always give the link with the condition that I know exactly when he or she will watch my presentation. If I know exactly the time, so it's very easy to follow up. This is one condition. The second condition, what I try to explain to the people, that I will give you my ideas. There's a lot of ideas out there. Mine is very special in my opinion, and I tell a few results, what we have achieved with this opportunity. But the second condition what I give is, I don't know if you will like this opportunity or not, this presentation. I don't know. Second, I don't know if you will be able to qualify to be mentored by me or my team. So I don't know yet, but let's find out. I give you the presentation with one condition. And the thing is, if you are not able to qualify, or if you don't like the presentation, you give me 2 referrals. If you take this condition, I will give you the presentation. So all the time I can have this. It's super, super easy, so I mark it with the green. Number 6, follow-ups. And you see, after the up, there is a S. So it means it's not one follow-up. And it's very, very super easy. Once again, it's super easy if you prepare the follow-ups correctly. So once I book an appointment and I have a meeting, I never finish a meeting until I know, shall we continue or no? If we continue, when exactly? If I don't have this, I don't finish the meeting until I know this. So it's the follow-ups. Follow-ups is nobody can, if you use common sense, nobody can say no to our opportunity or product. Why? Who do you think doesn't have any more free space in their bank account? Think one. Think second, who do you know who doesn't want to live longer and healthier longer? There is no such a person in the earth. So people say no to you is because they don't have enough information. If they have enough information, nobody can say no to you. So follow-ups is so crucial, but you keep practicing this and you can master this. Number 7 is this is marked in red. And then not because it's so difficult, but because very, very few people doing steps. Step number 7. Very few people doing this. And then maybe one reason, because they feel shame to share what I have done in the last 7 days, and they don't see the power and they see the huge chance to grow faster when you analyze your weekly activity with the active upline who are already producing results regularly. So this weekly consultation and also accountability is so crucial. Not many people doing this, but those people who are going the most, those people who are doing most frequently. Number 8 is active subscription. Active subscription is I give to the people, I explain them their benefits, is instead of placing menu orders, if they have a subscription, why it's much more beneficial. What I do is I build in the team and duplicating the same thing. I will serve you, I will help you, but I have conditions. And one of the conditions is the orders to maintain all the volume and not to lose and flesh out the points is to have subscription, not menu orders, but subscription. And then I mark this as a green because it's super easy to do it. You just have to set up, and it's so great. Our business now, we reach the level that we are ambassador triple diamond every week only through subscription. So if we don't do any work, if we don't recruit or we don't do any presentations, our volume already ambassador triple diamond with subscriptions. Number 9, attend all meetings. And I think it's, again, we talk about this. This is so important. Weekly meetings, monthly or annual events, all these events, you get more knowledge, you get more inspiration, you get more motivation. But I think one of the most important parts of the big meetings is making a decision. And I think this is really not, usually it's not happening between the walls and you are at home alone. I believe usually is making big decisions is happening in big meetings. Bigger the meeting, people usually make bigger decisions. So attending all meetings is very crucial because I have no time to educate and train and teach every single person in my organization. So we have to use meetings. So if I do a presentation, if I invite 5, 10, 20, or 100 people, then my time was used much more efficient than if I do this one by one. And then the duplication, the same story. If I teach my people to bring people to the meetings, more people in the meetings, more motivation, more inspiration, and we share the same information at the same time with more people. This is also the condition of our training program, that if you want to be coached and mentored by us, this is very important that you should attend every single meetings available. That's the 10 points of success, and the last one, which is going to create a duplication. The last one is repeat and teach the previous 9 steps. So this is what we teach, and this is what we show, and this is what we do. You know, that you as a leader, if you want your team to duplicate this, the first thing is you need to do all these steps, and you need to repeat this all over again. And then you have to do this every week, like a rotation weekly. So yes, every single week you need to go back to your dream and check if your dream is emotionally big enough and it's urgent enough. And number 2, if you believe that the dream, what is motivating you, is realistically, you believe that it can be true. So you have to work on yourself as well and repeating the whole process all over again. You have to analyze yourself every single week. Was I positive? What happened to me? Did I keep my positive spirit? Every single week, whatever disappointment, whatever challenge you have to analyze yourself, all these points all over again, and repeat the whole things all over again. And I know it's not going to happen overnight when you start doing these steps, and it's going to be perfect, but this is, we keep practicing until we master it. But please trust me, you never become master any of these, but if you keep repeating consistently, please believe me, you're going to have a massive results. I would like to share a few thoughts about dream and self-image and the mindset. I want to show you something I want to think about it because it's a huge topic, especially at the beginning when we start a business. We know very little, and this time when we know so little in the business, we do the most action. And then what happens later on when we learn about the business and more we know, we start realizing how little we know. And we become even more hungry to learn more. And then we go to the trap. Let me be first an ASEA professor. Once I know everything about ASEA, only after I will go out and talk to people. Huge trap, huge mistakes. So this really, we have to clarify this, that we have to have a mindset, in the right mindset. Without action, nothing gonna happen. So we have to do a lot of massive action. I want to do an exercise with you about how to dream. And I want you to think about something. I want you to visualize your home where you live. And I want you to go to the exit and look for what is in the picture. Any switch, I don't know how to say this in English, connector. Plug. Any plug, any switch in your house, I want you to think about this. I want you to close your eyes and you imagine the entry on your house. You're standing in the front entry door in your house. You have a key in your hand. You put the key in the door and you open the front entry door to your house. Close your eyes and look for all the connectors, all the plugs and all the switch when you go into your house. You find one in down where you put your vacuum cleaner. You found one when you open the light in the corridor. You go left to the kitchen. In the kitchen, you turn left again. There is two more switch. You go forward. There is a kitchen board and the kitchen board and another switch. You come out from the kitchen. You go to the corridor again. You go to the first living room. And you look for all the switches in your home. You come out. You go to the other room. Can you go to your bathroom? Did you find a switch in your bathroom? Please open your eyes. Did you see how clearly you saw all these steps, what you made? You see everything? Now, here is the homework, and this is the exercise what you need to do to visualize the future exactly so real how you did it now, this exercise. You saw everything in your house because the past experience. Now you have to train your brain to do the same exercise for the future experience. And the future experience is your life. Your normal, ordinary Monday morning. And you have to visualize what is the dream life you want to create in the future to live your life, what your self-image allows you to have a dream life. What you gonna do on Monday night? Where you gonna have your breakfast? What you gonna have your breakfast? What kind of cutlery? What kind of plate? What is the dining table? Who is in front of you? How many flowers? What kind of drinks? What kind of juice? Is it cold press or is it fast, cheap pressed juice? Is it organic vegetables or is it cheap vegetables? You make your own breakfast or somebody else is making the breakfast? Who do you spend your time with? How long is the breakfast lasts? Where you go? What you do after breakfast? You go to the gym, you go to visit somebody, you sit in the car. What kind of car you are sitting in? What is the color of the car? How the smell in the car? How fast, how small, how little, how big? And you see your shoes, what you are wearing when you are walking and looking down. You see the smell, you feel the smell of the flowers around you. You see the people you meet. You see the quality of people you meet. You see your business presentation. You see the hotel. Martin fell to sleep. Martin fell to sleep. He was doing the exercise so well. So you see my point, this is the work, and I think this is the biggest work, and this is the hardest work, and this is what you need to do, is daily visualizing your future life, and you have to play this game, this video all over again, until you repeat it so many times, it become closer to the reality. And if you do the massive action, then it will become the reality. Now, the second thing I want to talk to you about the self-image. And then I have a story, and this is the true story. I was in the network marketing company. I was earning 3,000 euro per month. And I went to Thailand. So 3,000 euro, it's not a big money in Europe. So my wife was at home, so she didn't have a job. So the whole family was living in 3,000 euro monthly income. So we didn't have a big income. And then I went to Thailand, and when I went to Thailand, I was thinking about my self-image, how to build my self-image. And then I have to visualize myself that I'm a very, very successful businessman. And this is the self-image I wanted to build as much high as I can and as much real as I can. So what I was thinking when I go to Thailand, I have to fly on business class. Because I saw the people with the long flights, I saw people is always the wealthy people and the very, very big successful business people who can afford to fly in business class. So I had to imagine that I am a very successful businessman already who is already flying on business class, but I couldn't afford. So I went to the website and I started thinking, how can I buy not the whole trip, but some small piece of the trip, buy a business class maybe cheaper, or how can I upgrade? So I went to the website and they didn't allow it was Doha. I had to make a transfer in Doha. So flying from London, I was living in London at that time. So flying from London to Doha and change the plane from Doha to Bangkok. But on website, they didn't allow me. So I called the company, I called the airline company, and I asked them, is there any possibility to buy just a small, little, tiny piece of this business class? And the lady on the phone, yes, she can do it over the phone, not the whole way going there, but only from London to Doha, she can do it business class for 700 euro. And from Doha, I take again economy, and all the way back, I take an economy. 700 euro, it was a lot of money for me. But it was not 3,000 like my income. And that was the first investment I made, the most serious investment I made to my self-image. And I purchased the flight tickets only from London to Doha, 700 euro extra. And I went there, I experienced every single little tiny pieces of that experience that I am already a very, very successful businessman. I see when I stepped to the cabin, I see myself when they welcome me and they turn not right but turn left to the business class. I sit down and I press the bottom of the chair, was pulling out, lying down, and then the champagne came. And every single tiny seconds of experience, I take it deep inside into my cells. And I said to myself, this is my reality. I took a lot of photos, I took a lot of videos, and here is the biggest win what I win with this trip. When I went to Thailand and I came home and I went back to the normal life, the normal everyday life, I played the game, the video with the closed eyes, the experience when I was traveling in the businessman as already very successful businessman. I was earning only 3,000 euro, and my biggest dream to earn 10,000 euro every month. That was my biggest dream. This is what I could imagine as a self-image. So when I went to a normal meeting, I went to the small cheap coffee shop and I went to the meeting, and as I dressed up to that meeting, I dressed up like a serious big businessman. When I entered to that coffee shop, how I behaved, or how I walked, how I behaved, I already imagined that I'm already a very successful businessman. And how I talk to people, I saw that I experienced I am already a very successful businessman. So my success rate is how many people become a business partner was much, much higher because my self-image was much, much higher. So it's only 25 minutes left. So I'm finished the presentation very soon. The people are waiting. So I want to share with you about the mindset and about how I play with the positivity and how I play with the negativity. Because the reality is, in life and in business, all the time, we got both. And we get plenty. So we get a plenty negativity, and also we get a plenty positivity. Now, here is what I play, and this is how I treat every negativity it's coming to my life, in business or any area of life, because I know they are coming. I know. So what I do, if any negativity is coming, any negativity, even thoughts, or even an event, what I do, I imagine that I kick and I punch the negativity away from me. If they are too strong and they not fly away, I turn away from the negativity and I walk away from them. Any negative thoughts, any negative events, any negativity. This is how I treat them. If it's any positivity coming to my mind, any positive thoughts or any positive experience, what I do is I hug them, I kiss them, and I hug them strongly, and I'm grateful for them. So I spend a lot of time with the positivity event, with the positivity thoughts. This is what I keep practicing. I know both exists, but with the negativity, I spend very little time because I kick them and I punch them. If they are still there, I turn around and I go away from them. If it's a positivity, I kiss them, I hug them, I stay with them, I make them stronger. This is how I play the game. No battery, or my time is finished. I keep pressing next and nothing happens. Do we have another clicker? Or somebody can click the next slide for me, please? Thank you. I'm not using it. Thank you. So, let me tell you a true story. Very, very negative story, but very positive story. I was doing a meeting in my first network marketing company. I was doing a lot of meetings. At that time, it was not social media, so I did most of my meetings in personal meetings. So I went there. We make an appointment, and we went there, and we hold the host meeting. So I was living in Ireland. This was the very beginning in 2008, 2009, the picture, yes, 2009. So I had a business partner in the depth, and then he asked me if I can do meetings. He's calling some friends around, and he can come to my, if me can go to his house and do a live presentation. I said, of course. So we booked an appointment, and before I left, he was living about half an hour from my house in Dublin, in Balbriggan, north of Dublin. So we booked an appointment, and then I had a beautiful car, Nissan Micra, 12 years old, cheapest car I could buy. So I sit in my car, and before I left, I called him again before the appointment. Are you home? Everything is okay? Can I come? Yes, sure. Because I had to be very, very careful with the petrol, because I didn't have time to waste the petrol. So I called him, yes, everything is fine. So I sit in the car, I went to the meeting, half an hour drive, roughly. I went to the meeting, and I went to his house. And when I went to his house, I ring the bell, and nobody opened the door. So I start calling him, and he didn't pick up the phone. So I went again, the same story I had experienced. I knocked the window, but it was no shadow. Nobody was inside. There was nobody there. I kept calling him, and no answer. And once again, I waited a few minutes, and I see that as nobody's home. I sit back to my car, and I was driving home. But I knew, with that disappointment, I knew that I cannot allow this negative story to affect me. I knew, and I learned, I have to live my life not to influence outside, inside me. Outside stories, if comes and affecting me, it will destroy me. I knew I have to live my life from inside out. I have to create from inside, I have to create what is surrounding outside of me. So when I was driving home, it was a very, very rare moment when the sun was shining in Ireland. And when the sun was shining, I was thinking about the positivity that I was driving a very, very beautiful, nice car, big car, and the sun is shining. And sun I associated with Florida, with Miami. So I start thinking that I am driving in Florida, in Miami, because the sun is shining. And I'm driving a beautiful, nice car. And I see the sign, next left, Dublin Airport. And I said to myself, yay, next left, Miami Beach. This is what I experienced, and this is what I visualized. And the radio, when I had this, I heard Tina Turner singing the song. Simply the best. I start thinking, she's talking to me. I am the best driving a beautiful car, going to Miami Beach. Amazing experience. So this was in 2009. My time is finished. This was in 2009. And what happened, we became a little bit successful in the previous business. So we achieved the rank where my upline was renting a big villa in Florida. And then he invited everybody who achieved a certain level, invited everybody. We paid our own flight tickets, and we staying with him. And then we stayed 1 week with them. So Annette, we had a little baby, Zoltan already, and Annette was pregnant already with the second baby, so we went together. And one of our business partners also, they qualified, so we went together. Two families, they came together. So 4 years later, I completely forgot what happened in 2009 in Dublin. I completely forget. So we went to Florida, and my upline said that, Zoltan, if you want to go around, we can rent a car and you can drive a car. And then I told my business partners, so we were in Tampa, the other side of Florida. And then I said to my business partners, where do you want to go? My business partner said, let's go to Miami. I said, let's go. So we sit in the rental car 4 years later. We sit in the car. We're driving all the way to Florida. And we booked the hotel. We stayed there. And then my upline was renting a nice Jeep, a big Jeep. I don't know the brand. I can't remember the brand. And I was driving the car, and the sun was shining. And I looked up, and the sun hit my eyes. I saw a big green sign, and the sign said, next left, Miami Beach. When I see, it was a flash to my mind. Oh my God. I had this experience before. And then I was driving. As soon as it hit me, the radio was continuously playing and talking. And in that second, the radio started playing a music. I start crying. Can we have a next slide? Because the next slide is the music, what I never thought. It's so accidentally. Same music. Tina Turner, you are the best. I had a goosebump. I cried. And my wife asked me what happened. And I said, I created this for us. Thank you very much.